Super Rugby round 16. This is take 3, so I'm going to get this done quick because I got the Bulls game to get to, even though it is absolutely hosing down outside and it's probably going to make for a pretty miserable watch, but we will see. First one, Sunwolves, Brumbies. Sunwolves are in a pretty poor situation. They've had a decent patch to their season, but in recent weeks, if you can hear the rain, it's been really bad. So they are in desperate need of a win, but it's probably not going to make much difference either way. All they can really do is take points away from the Brumbies here. They have shifted things up a bit. Salmaki gets a start, which is kind of good news. They've got a guy named Wunton on the bench, starting at loosehead, who I'm not that familiar with. Asahara also gets a start this week. Likewise, Tokunaga. Emery and Masarewa move around a little bit. Brumbies, for them, a lot of the talk about their season so far has been the fact that they do have a game up their sleeve against the Sunwolves, so they'll be looking to cash that in now. I would say a bonus point win is the target, and anything less, they'll be disappointed. If they didn't get the win, that would be an atrocious result, because last season they made their push late, and it was too late. They weren't able to catch up in time, whereas the Rebels opposite kind of started strong and fell away. Neither of them made the playoffs. The Brumbies might be getting it done just early enough this year to push. They've only made one change. It's James Slipper starting at loosehead, so CEO's on the bench. Otherwise, it's the solid lineup looking to get a job done with minimal changes. So Brumbies are 13-point favourites for that one. The next, and apologies, I am keeping this brief, the Chiefs and the Crusaders from Fiji. Which team are the Fijian fans going to get behind? Some would say with Sevu Reece flying down the wing, perhaps he's going to be the difference maker. I'm not sure. You've got very multicultural squads on both teams, but who knows which side will it's essentially a neutral venue, will get the favor of the crowd anyway. Chiefs, the main change for them is having Debrasini start at 10. He's got a really big boot, so that might speak to the way they're going to play, but not sure. He can still run the ball as well. For the Crusaders, a few changes. So Drummond starts, Enor's on the wing, Kieran Reid's back, so Fetu Douglas moves around. Otherwise, it's a pretty stable looking Crusaders squad as well. Harmon gets a game, but yeah, very strong looking team. Crusaders don't need a win because they're like 13 points ahead of the next best team. The Chiefs are 11th overall, only 3 points behind the playoff spot on 27. But you got to think that some of those teams around them, the Stormers or the Lions, one of them's going to get a win. So that 8th spot is probably going to be at a bit of a higher bar than that, because the Stormers are 9th on the same points as the Lions, I think, from memory. So yeah, it's kind of must-win territory for the Chiefs. And it doesn't come much harder than the Crusaders. I suppose neutral venue doesn't help, but you never know, maybe it does. Crusaders by 12 is what the bookies are saying. Did I tell you that it was Brumbies by 13? What the bookies are saying for that one? Either way, both those sides predicted to be fairly comfortable winners. The next one is the Reds and the Jagaures. The Reds likewise could use a win. 5 wins and 8 losses. Kind of better than a lot of people thought they would go at the start of the season. Very young squad, looked like they were just going to get smashed, but they have come up good in patches. But that's the thing about these teams at the bottom of the table, like the Blues, who had a good run, like the Reds, who had a decent run. They haven't been able to do it consistently, which is why they are where they are. So he swung the axe, I guess, or at least shifted things around a bit. So Hegarty and Matt McGann swapped 15 for 10, so they're still playing 2 10s essentially. So expect to see Hegarty come into first receiver at times. Dalgunu starts, Karevi, Feo Waisaltia, so those are all big changes for them, especially their midfield. Paenga Mosa also gets a start this week. The Jagaures have been in top form, and some of you guys have suggested in the comments that they're getting orders from Ledesma in Argentina to kind of rotate the squad around a bit, because Quesada has not kept a stable squad at all, especially for this tour. He's really mix the team up, like 4 or 5, maybe even more players each game of the tour. That theme continues here. I actually had to recheck my notes because it says Guido Petti is playing number 6 this week, which is an interesting one for a guy who's usually a lock. Lavanini and Paulos are the second rowers. Sordoni, Crevi, and Chaparro, Tete Chaparro are your guys in the front row. So those are all new names for this week in the starting lineup. Orlando moves in one from 13. Moroni's playing. Someone will have to tell me how to pronounce the fullback's name because I'm not sure. M-A-L-L-I-A. Is it a J or is it a L? Not quite sure. I need to take Spanish classes. Yes, I really do. But yeah, the Jagaures are at that point because they are on 36 points. So no matter what happens, they're still going to be in a playoff spot at the end of this round, but they could be well down the table, or if they get a good win here, they could be really cementing that spot at the top of the South African Conference. So there's still a lot to play for them. The Reds season is pretty much hanging by a thread, and they need a win kind of no matter what. The Jagaures are 2-point favourites for that one, so predicted to be relatively close over in Queensland. The next one, Sharks and Hurricanes. Sharks are a bit of a mixed bag team still. That theme continues. This season they haven't been that good at home, but somehow against all odds they managed to win at home last week, so maybe they're turning that corner. The Hurricanes are coming off a bye. Not the same team without Beauden Barrett, apparently. I guess a World Player of the Year is always going to be missed when he doesn't play, but he is playing this week, so they've named a very strong-looking team which is looking to push on. They're in 4th overall, but in terms of points, they are 2nd on 40 points, so just ahead of the Jagaures. Sharks 2nd in South Africa on 33 points, but there's really nothing between them, the Lions, and the Stormers, so even the Bulls, it's all very, very tight. The Sharks haven't made many changes. I think it's just Vermeulen in to start. So, yeah, I think that's the only change. Still got Bosch at 10, so Rob Dupree still rides the pine. Fussy, Esterhazen, it's all those same guys. So we'll see if Mpimpi can get into some space this week as well. For the Hurricanes, as I said, Barrett's there, Perenara, Savia, Fafita. Yeah, it's two teams who are... Oh, Dane Coles is back. That's interesting. I hadn't seen that. Dane Coles is back on the bench. He has not played for a long, long time, so we'll see how he goes. Obviously, that means there's no room for Ricky Riccitelli this week. Interesting lineup. That has tight game kind of written all over it. 2 points is what the Hurricanes are favoured by the bookies. 9 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. Sharks 6-1-6. This game could go really either way. How are you going to pick that one in Super Brew? I'm not sure. Usually you kind of lean towards the home team, but the Sharks at home, you'd almost back them more if they were away. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Last one. Stormers traveling to Johannesburg to play the Lions. This is a potentially match of the round just because Stormers, 5th in South Africa, 9th overall, 30 points. Lions, 8th overall, 4th in South Africa, 30 points. So they're dead even on points. One of them is in the playoffs, one of them is not as things currently stand. So yeah, whoever wins this one gets to essentially push the other one out of the playoffs. So whoever wins will definitely still be in a playoff spot. Whoever loses has got a long road ahead and will have to really hope that results go their way. So this one is going to be potentially quite the titanic clash. The Lions have brought some big guns back for this one. So Malcolm Marx is there. Carl Lusardi's been having a great season. He's there. Ross Cronier's back. But interestingly, Sean Reynolds is playing at 10. So I haven't actually read. You guys have to let me know. Is Yankees being rested or is he injured? I haven't read. Apologies, I should have checked that before I started the video. But yeah, otherwise it looks like pretty much a top Lions team with the likes of Quokka Smith there. Lana Mapu was in great form last week. Deontay had a good game as well. So yeah, very strong. Stormers perhaps peaking at the right time enough to sneak into the playoffs. They'll need a win. Minimal changes, kind of. Notcher gets a start. Likewise, Wilco Lowe, Scar and Tabeni. Otherwise, it's a pretty stable lineup for them. Yeah, Josh Thunder keeps getting the nod ahead of Jean-Luc Duplessis. And Damien Willems is still preferred at number 15. So Ooh, I'm not sure what time of the day that game's on. I'm sure it's in the middle of the night, but I may just have to get up to watch that one live because I reckon that one could be fiery. I'm not sure again if it's going to be Skalk Brits and Akavindamerva style, but it could get pretty hot and contested between these two teams. Hot, is that the right word? Either way, it could get a bit of aggro. We will see. Not that I'm watching the game just for the aggro. Anyway, the Lions are 3-point favourites. I suppose being at home gives them a bit of a benefit there. Right, I need to get going soon for this game. You guys let me know your thoughts on these games. How do you think they're going to go? Do you think the bookies have got the predictions right? And yeah, I will talk to you again soon. See you later.